Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Civilization 2. When we last left off, we have just captured the city of Antioch and renamed it to Beal, but I have also noticed that the city is not on an ideal spot. Ideally, we would like to be here, because then we could cross between these two oceans with our ships later on. And I think I will start building settlers in Beal and make this city maybe here, no, over there, and make this city move over here. So we'll produce settlers, we'll disband the city and then move it a bit further. Okay, the explorer will probably go and explore over here. So let's order him to go to Zug. Go to Zug. Okay, and it's the end of our turn. So let's have a look. What are we producing? Let's say caravan will take 2 turns. Okay, let's buy that. Anything else? Doesn't look like. Okay, so let's end the turn here. Okay, we would like to improve this. Looks quite ugly, but okay. Barbarians near the Vikings, okay. St. Gallen, you can carry gold. Okay, then we'll build a road over there. A road here as well. And we'll help build pyramids in Basel. Excellent. And in here as well. Okay, you can move there. In Zurich we are very close, but maybe we should change to the King Richard's Crusade. Because the Persians are building that, and I think they can't build Shakespeare's theater just yet. So we might be able to sabotage the production if we build it sooner than they do. So let's switch to King Richard's Crusade. It's not a so useful wonder of the world, but it's nice to have. 36 more shields, that's okay. It will take 5 turns. Okay, that's quite a lot, to be honest. Let's wait with this caravan and go over here with the trireme. This unit is quite useful because it doesn't have any hometown. I guess we can move over there, and in here let's move inside and disband both these units to help building the settlers. Okay, 3 more turns, and if we buy it, it will cost only 16 gold. So let's do that. And you can move actually over here, because then we will see all 4 squares. So move there, and we will build a city there in the next turn. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But I have realized last time that I haven't told you much about different terrain types and various special resources. And you can read more about them in the Civilopedia under terrain types over here. It will tell you, let's say, about desert, all the different statistics, and for the special resources as well. But there is also something else, the Civilization 2 poster, which I have been using in the past episodes and which I can't show you, but I have found on the internet a copy of this poster, which you can download or view if you wish. And I would like to show it to you because there are some more interesting information about the terrain types in there. So let me switch to a web browser. And this is the site where you can see those. So it's a civfanatics.com/civilization2/downloads/poster. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 images. The poster contains all 4 images together, but here it's split so that you can see it better. And the first one is the technology tree, which is right over here. Let me expand this a little bit so that you can see it better. And here you have the entire technology tree from the beginning to the end. It's quite useful to have it around. Then the other 3 are the unit specifications, the terrain specifications, and the specification for special resources. So let's close the research tree, and this is the units chart. Let me also magnify this a little bit so that you can see it better. And as you can see, there's all the various different statistics: attack, defense, movement, hit points, firepower, prerequisites, obsolescence, and so on, about all the different units in the game. It's not that useful, but for new players it might be nice to have. And then the 2 most useful statistics are the terrain specifications and special terrain specifications. As you can see, there's probably very similar information as in the UFOpedia in here, but you can see all the different terrain types at once. And I think that everything you can see here is also in the Civilopedia. Food, shields, trade, definitely move cost as well, defensive bonus, result of irrigation, mining, engineer transformation. Okay, well, maybe this column is not visible in the Civilopedia. Not sure about that. Let's actually check it. Let's open desert, for example. Ah yeah, possible resources are there as well. And what you can also see in the Civilopedia, so actually you can see more here, is how many turns it will take to irrigate such a square and how many turns it will take to mine. Okay. But here it's just a better overview. So let's quickly go through all these columns and explain what do they mean. So the food means how much food you get, of course, and the best is the grassland, which gives you 2 food by default without any irrigation and other special resources. And that's why you want to build your city on grassland, so that it can expand or grow quickly. Then the most shields you get on the forest, but I guess I would recommend to have a few hills in the vicinity of the city, because it doesn't give you any shields by default, but it will give you free shields if you build a mine there. So this is the best terrain for generating shields. Then for the trade, everything is 0, so you basically need either special resources or roads or something else, but ocean by default gives you 2 trade. And especially for the new players, I stress that the ocean squares are not that bad. They're actually quite good, and don't worry about building a coastal city. It's very much worth it. So ocean gives you 2 trade without any improvements. Okay, then the movement cost is 1 on deserts, grassland, plains and tundra. So if you have a path between the cities, try to use these squares to move, especially with the quick units, because they will not lose any movement points to the terrain. Okay, then we have defensive bonus. If you station your units outside of the city to help protect the borders or something, it's best to put them on mountains or hills, where you will get 100 or 200% defensive bonus. the other types like forest and jungle and swamp are also not that bad. Then the result of irrigation, of course, is the increase of food. And you can see that you can apply this to deserts, grasslands, hills, where I would not recommend it. I would recommend mining on the hills. Also plains and tundra. For jungles and swamp, you can use the irrigation command to transform the terrain into grassland. Same for the forest, where you can transform it to plains. So that's what quite a few people don't know by default. The result of mining is, of course, increase in shields. You can use that on deserts, glaciers, hills and mountains. I would definitely recommend to do this on hills, especially if you have wine, for example. That's excellent combination. You can also use the mining to increase the production of shields indirectly by transforming the terrain to forests, like on the grassland, plains or swamp. Then the roads, of course, reduce movement cost on any terrain type, except for ocean, of course, where you can't build the roads. And additionally, on deserts, grassland and plains, they increase the trade. So on all the desert, grassland and plain squares where you have people working, you should have a road as well. Then we don't have any engineers, but if we had any, they would be able to transform the terrain into something else. And as you can see, they can transform mountains into hills, and even then hills to plains, plains to grassland. So you can turn mountains into grasslands using engineers. It will take a lot of turns, but it is possible. You can also turn glacier into tundra, then tundra into desert, desert into plains, and plains again into grassland. So you can do a lot of terrain transformations if you wish, and basically end up with only ocean squares or grassland squares. I wouldn't recommend that, of course, but it's possible. And here you have a listing of different special resources you can find on each terrain type. And most of them have two special resources, one to increase usually, well, let's say food and trade and shields, but there are some other combinations as well. The only terrain which doesn't have two special resources is grassland, which only has a special resource of, well, resources indicated by this shield over here. That's a specialty on the grassland terrain type. Okay, I guess we will read more about these terrain types in the Civilopedia later, the description I mean. And let's quickly switch to the special terrain. Let me also increase the size a little bit so that we can read it better. And here you can see on what kind, all the special resources, of course, on what type of terrain they appear, the summary of food, shields and trade, which is the terrain type plus the special resource together, result of irrigation, mining and transformation. And this is something you can't read in the Civilopedia. Let me switch to that. And let's take, for example, the buffalo. And you can see the food, shields and terrain type and so on, but you can't see what happens if you do irrigation, mining or engineer transformation. So that's why it is very beneficial to have this spreadsheet open or with you at all times, because it can tell you a lot of interesting information. For example, you can see that you can transform spice into silk if you use the mining command. And there are some very good combinations. For example, my most favorite is wine. Wine usually appears on hills and already gives you 104 by default. And you can irrigate it, but that would give you one more food, which is not so cool. But you can also mine it, and it doesn't turn into a different special resource. Normal means that the normal mining effect will be applied, And that means it will produce 3 shields instead of 0. So it will have a total number of 8, which is very good for basically any type of terrain. You can also turn it to wheat using engineers, but that's not so good because you would end up only with 4 special resources bonus or whatever. So it has a great trait and it will have also a very good shield production. It doesn't produce too much food, but you will have other squares to do that. Then some other good things are spice and well, gold is of course quite useful. I like the buffaloes as well. The fish are very good for trade and for food, although they don't produce any shields. However, the second best after wine I think are whales, because you can't do anything with them of course, but they give you 7 total and they increase everything somehow equally. So they are the best starting squares, I guess. If you can build a city next to the whales square, do it. Okay, that's about it. So these 3 columns are new. Well, not new, they are not available in the Civilopedia and quite useful. So I recommend to get to know all these rules or have them with you. Okay, so let's close that. Enough talking, and I guess at some point we'll go through these terrain types and then we will read the descriptions because they are also very interesting, but not now. For now, let's continue and explore over here. Let's explore with the trireme as well. You can build roads, and it's already end of our turn. Let's quickly check if there is anything to be built. In Geneva, I guess we can afford to build a caravan. Okay. Where were we? Over here. And that's about it, I think. We were building settlers in Biel. They are finished. So let's see what happens. I need to talk to Carthaginians at some point because we are at ceasefire but not at peace. So they might decide to attack at any time. Okay, but let's see what happens to Biel now. Barbarian uprising near Biel. Well, that's not very near. I guess we can live with that. And we don't want to delay the settler production. We want to disband the city and build the settlers anyway. Excellent. Geneva can carry wool, for example. Okay, and this settler will go up and found the city there. This elephant will go and help them, and over here we need to build a new city. But first let's build roads over there. Move with the caravan down the road. What else? So you can build a road. Is already being built there. I guess we can start irrigating some squares near to Lucerne, for example this one. You can go and help them build the pyramids. Let's do that. Help build wonder. Okay, 44 shields required. And for the King's Richard's Crusade, 30. Okay. Build a road. You can go and explore this part of the sea. You can go there, that's fine. And we'll build a city there. And because we have disbanded Biel, we can found a city called Biel over here. Or maybe we can give it a different name. Well, we'll see. How could we call this city? I guess we can call it Hur, for example. So let's build Chur. And because we have disbanded Biel, Chur will get its number. And it will be our city number 13. Okay, as you can see all these 4 special resources, which is great. And we'll continue building. We can't build warriors, right? And we can't even build phalanxes anymore. So I guess it's time to build a pikeman. Yeah, why not? And we don't need to grow that quickly. I would prefer quicker production for now. And we can grow later. Okay, let's move over there. And we have already hit our 20-minute mark. So when we come back, we'll go there and found Biel once again. And we'll also build some wonders of the world in Zurich and in Basel, I think. Yeah, in Zurich and in Basel, exactly. So I say bye-bye for now. Till next time.